content. Hey y'all, welcome back to another fresh episode of Big Wild Hacking, NMap edition. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I'm going to be going over a software called NMap, which is a tool used for information gathering and enumeration. And enumeration is basically information gathering in greater detail. NMap is used in cybersecurity and system administration for troubleshooting and securing the network for finding vulnerabilities. I'm going to be going over NMap from the command line in Windows and also the graphical version ZenMap. So stay tuned, it's going to be great. Okay, y'all, so the first thing I want to do is open up a command line with command prompt and make sure I'm running it as administrator. So the first thing you're going to want to do is navigate to a directory and create a directory for working with NMap. You want a special directory for working just in NMap and doing all your ethical hacking and cybersecurity work. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so I'm here in my documents folder where I navigated to. Now I'm going to create another directory called test directory, and I'm going to make it invisible. So here is the test directory that I just made in my documents folder, but now I'm going to make it invisible and I'll demonstrate that just for fun. So now when you look in my documents folder, you will not see you will not see tests anywhere. That's because I made it invisible. But now I'm going to navigate to it. Even though it's invisible, I can still navigate to it. So as you can see from the path here, I'm working from the invisible directory test. So we're going to be scanning websites. So our target, we want to choose a target that we have permission to, like a device on our own network, or we can also use scanme.nmap.org, which NMap has created specifically for scanning and practice with NMap. So let me show you what a basic scan in NMap from the command line looks like. So this is the command for a basic NMap scan. You would type nmap and then your target, scanme.nmap.org. Okay, so let's run that by pressing enter. NMap has started, and there we go, NMap has finished. So here is the results of NMap. We got one host up, we got some open ports, we got a port 22 TCP open, and the service on that is SSH. We got port 80 TCP open, and the service on that is HTTP. We got some filtered ports and 3 more open ports. Okay, so now let's get a little more advanced with our NMap scanning. We're going to use what's called an input list, which is a text document that contains IPs and URLs line by line. So I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so this is the command that I ran. I ran echo scanme.org, and then I redirected the output and wrote it to a text document called ip.txt, which I'll show you is in the directory, my hidden directory. So I just run the dir command to list all the directories within the directory, and we have the file here, ip.txt. So now what I want to do is I want to add an IP range from my local network that I'm on here. Let me just check. Yes, I am on my local network. So first I'm going to run ipconfig to get the IP address of my local network. Okay, so I ran ipconfig and found the IPv4 of my local network and also the subnet mask for my local network, which is a WAC24 subnet mask. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to append an IP with my subnet range into the ip.txt. And this is how you do that. Okay, so when you want to append a file, you want to use the double greater than symbol, because if you use the single greater than symbol, it will overwrite whatever's in that text file. So let's do that by appending my IP range here to the text file. Okay, so now let's print that text file and make sure it's in there. We'll use the type command in Windows, which is similar to the cat command in Linux. Okay, there it is. So you'll see that the text file ip.txt has 2 lines, and these are the input. So the ip.txt is the input list we're going to use for NMap. We're going to run the ip.txt through NMap, and NMap is going to scan both of these targets. So let's do that. So this is the NMap command for using an input list. You would put nmap and then -il or tac il which stands for input list, and then the text file ip.text. Let's run that by pressing enter. Okay, so the scan has finished. We have the first one here, which is scanme.nmap.org, and there's the results for that. And then down here, we got the other two. I stopped it kind of early, so it didn't scan the whole range, but it did do two in the range. So we got NMap for the first IP in the range. There's port 53, which I believe is DNS, and then down here we have the other IP, which is my computer. Yeah, 257 IP addresses, 3 hosts up, scanned in 107.33 seconds. And also in Nmap, when you have something like this in the command, the tac or dash il, that's called a flag in Nmap. So now, if you wanted to view the results of your scan outside of the command prompt, so that you can save them for later and review them later, you can save the output to a file using the tac OA flag. And the tac OA flag is going to generate three files: an XML file, an nmap file, and then a gnmap file, which stands for greppable nmap, which you can use commands like grep in Linux or find string in command prompt Windows command prompt to find expressions and stuff like that. So I'll demonstrate how to do that. So this is the command for saving the scan results to those three files. It would be nmap to run nmap, your target scanme.nmap.org, your flag tac OA for printing the three files, and then the names you're going to give them, so logs. So let's run that. Okay, so nmap has finished the scan. Now let's check our invisible test directory to see that the three files are there. And yes, you see that the three files are there. There's a logs.gnmap, which is the greppable find string version, logs.nmap, which is the nmap native file, and then logs.xml, which is the XML file. So let's talk about a few other flags. Okay, so here I have this nmap command with three different flags. So we have, it says nmap to run nmap, and then the target scanme.nmap.org, and then the tac SN flag, the tac SV flag, and then the tac P 1 to 1000. I'm going to explain that. So the tac SN flag, that will scan for all live hosts on the network. The tac SV will scan for the service version, the version of the services running on the ports. And tac P1, tac 1000 will scan ports 1 through 1000, which there's actually 65,553 ports in total on every computer. And also the tac P option, you could write tac P tac to scan all the ports, or tac P80 to scan an individual port, specifically port 80 in this example. So let's do tac P1 to 1000 and then run this. Okay, so I had to make a modification because it was giving me an error for using the tac SN command, because the SN command is used for port scanning. So what I did was I ran this command right here: nmap tac sb tac p1 tac 1000 scanme.nmap.org. So that's going to give us the service versions running on the ports, and it's going to scan the first 1000 ports, and this is the target scanme.nmap.org. Okay, so it was taking really long, so I just I stopped it early, but we did get some information about the service versions running for the first 1000 ports. So port 22 TCP is open, it's running SSH, and the version is Open SSH Ubuntu. It's running Ubuntu Linux. And that is valuable information, because then I could go to Metasploit or check out the CVEs for Open SSH 661 Ubuntu and find vulnerabilities that I can exploit. or vulnerabilities that I can fix too and get rid of so that I've not exploited on my system. Okay, so that wraps it up for today. But one more thing, I'm going to delete that secret folder that I made. That actually, the secret directory. I'm going to delete it. So I'm just going to go back a directory by using cd dot dot, and I'm going to delete the directory. Okay, I just wanted to confirm that the directory is deleted by after running the rmdir whack-s whack-q test by running another command, dir whack-a scope h, which is going to list all the invisible directories. And as you can see, the test directory is not here, but I do have 3 other invisible directories. But the test directory has been deleted with all the files that we used in this project. Yep, so that's going to wrap it up today. Stay tuned. We're going to be talking about a lot more stuff within NMap.
Explicit content.